Hey, yo, you guys are watching the Original Z podcast. Today we're with our host, Yassine Bucharest, and a special guest. You can introduce yourself.
Yeah, hey guys, I'm Chris Roussakis, Chief Creative Director of Phantom Productions here in Ottawa.
You did that pretty well. That you came in with the confidence. Okay.
Nice deep voice too.
No, straight up. I heard that. I heard his mic better than I hear my own mic does, bro. But how you doing today, man?
Not bad. It's sunny outside. I got the shorts on. I'm showing my white legs. It's
yeah.
May, so got to get that tan going.
No, you're showing some cool ass tattoos. Honestly, the only reason I don't like wearing shorts is because I don't have tattoos, and you got some sick ass ones. Are you gonna cover your entire leg with tats? Are you that kind of guy?
No. Even when I got this one, my dad, who's a retired Greek guy.
Yeah.
Like, no more tattoos.
Yeah.
And my friend passed away back in January, and I was like, I got to get a tattoo for him. So I got one more, and it's like I'm dreading wearing shorts around my parents this summer because I know he's gonna be like, "Is that another tattoo?"
Yeah. Well, your dad doesn't have any tattoos?
Definitely not.
No, Greek people don't get tattoos.
He's just not from that generation.
Oh shit. Because I know that there's some older generations that are like heavily into that. Is it a Greek thing?
I would say yes, just to the fact that, growing up in very much the 70s, my father probably had it in his head where, people that get tattoos don't get jobs kind of thing.
Oh yeah. That's heavy. That was heavy in the early 2000s.
Yeah, and I think that's changed a lot over the years. And
Yeah.
I only really started getting tattoos after I had got divorced because I was like, what, I'm gonna rebel against everything that I ever wanted to do, and I took that opportunity and probably got most of these in the span of 6 months. And there's about 10 there.
I like the hustle. The hustle tattoo actually looks. I like the fun of it.
Don't knock the hustle.
Oh wait, this says don't knock that because
don't knock the hustle.
Oh, okay. You know what's funny? It literally says can't knock the hustle.
Oh yeah.
That's why I was like, am I reading that wrong?
Yeah. That's it.
No, that's the kind of situation where it's like you've had the tattoo on your body so long you forget what it is.
That's right.
Now sometimes I forget that I have all these dumbass like quotes and stuff. I was gonna get another one actually a few days ago, but they were overcharging the crap out of me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a buddy who basically does a little bit of an exchange for me. He has a tattoo shop, so I do I do some photos here and there for him.
Yeah, you get that nice. Do you get it for free or is it discounted?
I give him a tip.
Oh, you got him a tip, huh?
And that's it.
Oh, okay.
Shout out Chris Coleman. Steady hands tattoo, Bank Street.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Is that a good? Did he do all your tattoos that you have?
He's done every single tattoo that I have.
Wow. No, that's actually good. Like he's actually a really good tattoo artist. Normally with me, it's like I keep going to different tattoo artists and they always fuck up something. And I haven't had the one person yet that I could just be like, you're my artist now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I haven't gone through that. I think for me, there's like one tattoo that I got that I regret, just like placement wise.
Yeah.
But other than that, I've had a good experience.
No, that's fair. No, no, the only tattoo I've ever regretted was I got my ex-wife's name tatted on my back.
Okay.
Yeah, worst mistake of my life.
That's pretty bad.
Yeah, now there's a big ass butterfly on top of it.
Even worse.
I know. When I was getting it covered, I'm like, what the fuck do I get? I'm like, dude, I do love butterflies. You know what I should have gotten? You know those death moths? I think they're called.
Okay.
Everyone's been getting those. It's like a butterfly and it has like a skull print on it.
Yeah.
It's super trendy and it just looks super sick. But instead, I got like the girliest butterfly I could get on my back. I love it though.
You should get that for your like 100th episode or something.
Oh my god,
just
yes.
to commemorate it.
No, I was thinking about getting I was thinking about getting the name of this podcast tatted on me.
Oh, man.
That would be insane. The worst part is that
you should do it.
Oh, you're a great influence.
Where will you get it though?
Honestly,
get it on your stomach, bro.
Get it on my stomach, huh?
Your chest.
Oh no.
Where your heart is.
Like fucking like the movie where it says bad regrets. Yeah.
Okay, I got one more story for you. So basically, my buddy who passed away there, one day he was like, "Yeah, I've been thinking about getting this tattoo saying retired on my stomach," and I was like, "Yeah, you should do it. And then I basically had like booked off that day to take him, and we go, and he's like second guessing it, and I'm like, buddy, I took the day off work to do this with you. You're getting the tattoo. And the whole time he was like, oh no, why am I doing this? And sure enough, like, regretted that tattoo so hard. God. But I forced him into it.
Oh, that's like
God rest his soul.
Yo, that's hilarious. That's actually fucking awesome. Jeez, you sound like a very motivational friend. I like that.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Like whenever the friend's like, dude, like he thinks about the bad things, he's like, yo, you know what? I want to get like a tattoo on my face. Actually, I don't. And then you're just in this, you're whispering.
You got to get that tattoo.
You got to do it. You thought about it once. You got to do it.
Exactly.
But so yeah, you mentioned that you got married really early, huh? Because you said that you went through, like, obviously you had an ex-wife and all that fun stuff.
Yeah.
And that was after that is when you really kind of, because you mentioned it, how you kind of dove into work.
Yeah, like I think a lot of people, when they start to settle down in life, with kids or marriage, they're always looking to reduce their workload. Yeah. And put a plan in place just to, have more time for your family.
Exactly.
And obviously I kind of had to do that when I was married. And once that was over, it was like, okay, like I should just focus on my work and grow that. And I definitely hit a stride there that I was just banging out heat for it was some of my best work that was getting done, and I was very much focused and in the mood to experiment with lighting setups or whatnot. I think I just got into this idea that it's me time.
So that was a pinnacle though, huh? Like that, if without that situation, do you think that you, like, if you were still, married and all that stuff, do you think that you would have been exactly where you are right now?
No, not at all, because, the person that I was with at the time hated risk taking and hated me taking risks.
Loved comfort, huh?
And if we think about, Phantom Productions now, there's no way that she would have been on board with the idea of me taking that leap. Yeah. She would have very much liked if I was just keeping it steady. Yeah.
I love that you brought that up, because that was literally what my tattoo was going to be about. My tattoo was literally going to say comfort kills success.
Okay.
And it's what literally for the same perspective of like, you know what, you got to just take the fucking risk. Just go for it.
Yeah.
But no, you've definitely hit these strides. I mean, when it comes down to Ottawa, we don't see a lot of people that have kind of risen above and became very, like, let's be honest, majority of our friends that we grew up with, did you grow up in Ottawa?
I did, yeah.
So the majority of friends that you grow up with end up going into government jobs.
Yeah.
That's just the reality of what happens in Ottawa.
Shout out Justin Trudeau.
Straight up. So literally when it comes down to people that kind of branch off, even a lot of them, they go into that direction of like trying to hit their goals and persevere towards their dreams. But then it's like, okay, you know what? Never mind. I'm just going to fall back onto the government job or just do something like that. But you did it.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, Ottawa's a small market, right?
Yeah.
In Toronto, if you take my business and you plop it in Toronto, there's probably 100 to 200 other people exactly like me.
Yeah.
Whereas in Ottawa, we probably are competing against like 10 other companies, which is nice.
Yeah.
It's always nice to be the big fish in the small pond instead of the small fish in the big pond.
No, that's fair. That's what the one thing that I think brings a lot of recognition to whatever your brand is here. Like even starting off like with when I did my TikTok and stuff like that, dude, did I feel like a fucking celebrity here. Like the moment when someone actually recognized me, I was like, oh my God, you recognize me? And I the weirdest thing is I still have a photo. I actually forced them to take a photo with me because I wanted to prove to people, yo guys, someone recognized me.
Yeah. It's funny you say that. Even this week I had someone stop me and be like, do you have a podcast? And I was like, yeah, I do. And they're like, what's it called? And I was like, the Creative Mindset Podcast. I watched that podcast.
I'm saying it's crazy. You get a lot of views. What the fuck? I was going through your account. Like you actually got, like for us, obviously we're starting up. Like we're hitting our,
like 200.
200. We hit 200. We're like, all right, we're doing well.
Yeah.
You're not just hitting 200. Like you're going, your skill's pretty high up. So it's like, how, like, for you to start up in the time that you started up, you're actually doing very, very well. on your podcast. And what kind of stuff do you talk about on your podcast?
Yeah, I mean, just speaking to the success of it, there's people in the office that were like, okay, so what are we hoping for here? Like 100 views? And I was like, yeah, 100 views would be really nice. And then we post that first one, and I think we hit 3K, and I was like, okay, shit. Like, the network is pretty big now.
I fucking hate you.
Yeah. And I think again, it just speaks to the network that we have, and the community that we have in Ottawa, and the people that are part of that just are looking for, a voice to listen to sometimes, right?
Yeah.
I think a lot of people in my realm of work, they try to do these podcasts where it's very specific to photography or video or animation. And I kind of said, fuck that, because at the end of the day, I just wanted to have creative people on here. Yeah. We had one of the Ottawa Redblacks come on recently, and it was like, I could feel a lot of people being like, why are we having this person on here? Yeah. And I was like, at the end of the day, this guy is very much as creative on the field as I am with the work that I do.
Yeah. And it's hitting a different demographic at the end of the day, which is always nice.
Yeah. And I think, we've been able to get a couple sponsors, which helps with the reach too, because they retweet or repost or whatever. Yeah. And even with our guests, I'm relying on them sometimes to repost once it's done. And we have a lot of people that we're trying to work with prior to a release or new work coming out, so that they feel like, okay, this podcast, based off of the numbers that they get, I got to do my part in bringing some of that to the table.
No, that's completely fair. One thing that I actually love about being in Ottawa is the fact that even the people that are here that are very creative, like for podcasters, you obviously have a demographic that you're selling to, and there's a lot of people that live here that do have some form of success, and their viewership is way beyond. Like, one thing that I've discovered is, like, weirdly enough, I don't go to clubs anymore to dance. I go to clubs to network. Yassine is the biggest, like he sees me, like, whenever I'm at the club, I'll see someone, I'm like, that's a fellow TikToker. Yeah. I gotta go buy this guy a drink. Yeah. And so it's like, I've literally talked to a bunch of these TikTokers and stuff like that live here, and they have millions of followers, and I'm like, yo, I have a podcast. I show them the numbers, 75 followers. They have millions, and they're like, this is my schedule. I will come on this day. I'm like, wow, Ottawa people are just nice as fuck. This is great.
Yeah, definitely. I think a lot of people here are in the same boat as us, just in different spots, right? Yeah. Because if we think about these, muralists, like Fall Down Guy, you know him?
Fall Down Guy. Fuck, yeah. I don't know. Wait, what does he do?
So he does, murals in businesses, or murals. Like, he's got a couple downtown in the Rideau Center. Okay. Someone like him, in my eyes, it's like, okay, I'm hoping he's going to say yes. But at the end of the day, when I asked him, it was like, yeah, of course I'm going to be there. Why wouldn't I be? Yeah. And I think in Ottawa, you just have people that are still trying to break through a little bit to get to that celebrity status, that are just, like, definitely willing to be part of whatever you're doing to hopefully get to that point.
I think that there's a lot of people that actually, like, we do have some pretty well-known people, like almost celebrity status people, and they are genuinely super fucking down to earth here. I feel like LA sucks. I just, like,
I couldn't imagine.
Yeah, like LA is like, I feel like whenever you talk to someone, they're like, bro, like, you're wasting my time. Like, why you gotta pay me to even talk to me, kind of thing. And I feel like here it's like, if you see anyone that came out of Ottawa that became famous, you see them on the street, which I have seen a few people. I've seen what's his face? A Wild Now. Have you ever watched it?
No, I don't know who that is. Dude, I feel old now. Fuck.
Dude, no, what the hell? This is like a really, really fucking old show with Nick Cannon.
It's like 2004, I think it came out.
Okay, it's not that old then.
All right, I'll check it out.
But one of the people from Wild Now literally lives in Blackburn. Okay. And it was the weirdest thing. I saw him at a barber shop. I'm like, dude, you're famous. I don't think you know this. And he's like, yeah, man, I'm on that show. I just came here for the weekend. My parents live here. I'm gonna go back to LA tomorrow. I just bought my second house. I'm like, what the fuck? And then I was like, yo, like, can I get a follow? Like, can I follow you on Instagram? What's your Instagram? Blah blah blah. He follows me back, and there's been times where he's just like, where I've had conversation with him online. I'm like, what the fuck? Damn. This only happens with like Canadians. This does not happen with anyone outside of this.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, sometimes there are gatekeepers out there like agents and such, but for the most part, it's pretty good. I think, for us, there's one person that we really want to get on the podcast, Tom Green, if you know who he is.
Tom, why does that name sounds so familiar?
He was a comedian, is a comedian, and was in a bunch of, of those frat boy style comedy movies in the early 2000s.
Dude, I gotta know who this guy is.
Yeah, bring it up.
Yo, can you toss me that iPad?
I would say his most famous movies are like Road Trip, Freddy Got Fingered.
Wait, what?
He also had a show, the Tom Green Show. He had a rap group in Ottawa called Organized Rhymes.
Oh my God, this guy. Yeah, you know what's funny? I was literally talking about him like 3 or 4 days ago. How the fuck did I forget his name so quick?
I've been trying to get Tom on the podcast, but it's been really tough because he does have an agent and his info isn't really out there. And I've been having people on the show that I think know Tom Green, and then they're like, no, I don't know Tom that well. It's like, shit, like I pretty much just try to talk to you to get to Tom Green. Shout out to all my guests.
Yo, that's wild. Nah, Tom Green is a fucking character. He's actually great. I think he's. I definitely watched his shit. You don't see him, doing too much shit nowadays though.
So he just had a special on Amazon Prime, and it was something like LOL Canada, and it was like a reality show where they had all these comedians in a room and they couldn't laugh at each other's jokes or else they got booted.
Okay.
And he made it to the finals of it. And I would say that's his most recent thing that he's been up to. But he's in Ottawa now. Well, I think he's on in Wakefield in Quebec.
Okay.
Bought a farm out there and is just chilling. He moved back during the pandemic.
Wow, you know a lot of information about
that. Anybody that's watching this, DM me if you got Tom Green's contact info.
This little clip's gonna be on TikTok. Yo, TikTok, find him real quick, bro. Hit him up.
Please.
You already know.
Help me.
But all this is fun. But the thing is, like, the one thing that I find really interesting about you, and one of the main reasons why I wanted to get you on is, as I did mention, like, you're one of the main people that are growing within Ottawa, and I did not know about your backstory. Like, once you sent me that email, I was really intrigued by what you're doing, but now I'm even more intrigued with how the fuck you got here. Because a lot of the stories we see, it's like it was just one way up. But you had some lows. So I want to know, how you got to the point you are and what kind of things you had to face.
Yeah, I mean, in high school, I had this want to pursue photography, but had this internal struggle that university was very much where I had to go to, even just prove to myself that I wasn't an idiot. Because I think in high school, a lot of people were like, oh, are you an academic or applied? And I was like, I'm definitely an academic because I'm not a retard. But, and I hate to use the R word, but that's definitely the mentality in early 2000s. That's what people would say to you, right?
Yeah.
And I think I went to university because, everything we saw in pop culture, the movie American Pie, I was like, I got to go to university. And
gotta get lit.
But at the end of the day, college was probably the best fit for me.
Yeah.
But I also look back and I think about, all the things that happened in university, and it definitely molded who I am today. So I don't regret the path that I took.
Yeah.
But so I went to university, dropped a class. It was my parents' money. I took that money.
Yeah.
And I bought one of these cameras, right?
Oh, hell yeah.
And I felt so guilty about it that I was talking to a bunch of people, and I was like, what do I do? I need to use this thing.
Yeah.
Now that I've spent money on it. And they're like, oh, you should volunteer for the Charlatan, which is the student newspaper at Carleton. Mm-hmm. I walked in there. I was like, hey, I just want to take some pictures. And they're like, here's an assignment. We need it back tomorrow. And I was like, what? This is sick.
Okay.
I'm working.
Hell yeah.
I go in and I take that picture. I come back all happy. And they're like, yeah, great. You want to do one next week? And I was like, yep. And I just kept coming and coming back and started to grow with that community. Started to meet a lot of photojournalists who started to mentor me. I ended up dropping out after third year. My marks were terrible. And the school was going to put me on academic probation. Yeah. And I was like, listen, like, at the end of the day, in my last year, I basically paid tuition only so that I could work at the student newspaper. Yeah. Like, I didn't even show up to class very much in third year because I was like, I knew this was over. Yeah. So I drop out, go to photo school, drop out of photo school after a couple months because I thought I knew everything, and I moved to Toronto. And I get a bit of freelance work while I'm out there, but yeah, we're talking about a dark time. Like I was living in this shithole basement apartment, and I remember just like looking into the mirror one day and being like, okay, this isn't working out. I'm not making money. I have no other skills than creativity. You know, like if it doesn't change soon, like, am I gonna like kill myself? And like I legit had this thought in my head, right? And it was so crazy to think about now, but it was very difficult at that time to not find success. Yeah. And sure enough, the horseshoe up my ass just like lit up the next week, and I got a call from one of my mentors who was in Ottawa working for the Sun, and he's like, I got to go on vacation. Do you want to cover me while I'm away? And I was like, hell yeah. Because like I was gonna make more money than I had made in Toronto in those 3 weeks. You know?
Oh shit. Okay.
So I was like, yeah, I'm coming back. I'll be there in 3 days. So come back to Ottawa, do that for the 3 weeks. He gets back and he says, well, that was just basically a job interview. You didn't fuck it up. Do you want a job? And I was like, yep, I'll move back tomorrow.
Oh my God.
So I moved back. My dad came to Toronto, packed up my shitty basement apartment with me. Yeah. And I started work on Parliament Hill and did that for 3 years and got laid off. But I was 22 when I got laid off. So, you know, it wasn't really a mind fuck for me at the time.
You were just 20. So you literally went through all this stuff before the age of, like, you dealt with a lot so super early.
Yeah, because I was 17 when I got to university.
Okay, yeah. So you went right into
and that 1 year where I had gone to college, dropped out and all that, we're talking, you know, 10-month span right there. So yeah, I think I had turned 21 that first year that I was working with the Sun. By the end of it, yeah, 22, 23, something like that.
And what was the, if you don't mind me asking, what were the issues that transpired for you to end up leaving the Sun?
So they had built this parliamentary bureau around Sun News Network, which was their TV show that they had tried to do. Yeah. And it was supposed to be like a Fox News North kind of style. Okay. Very conservative, very much not my views on life. Yeah. But as a young person, you know, you're going to take money where you can get money. Exactly. So I took that job and I was fine with it. And the news network started to tank. They weren't making any money. Shit. Okay. And they were trying at one point to become a station that was part of the package of channels that is very much the base package and for service, right? So if you said, I want cable, it wasn't a specialty channel. But they never got to that point. They were always a specialty channel that you had to buy after. So they lost success there, which led to them losing a lot of money. Okay. And obviously the 22-year-old kid is one of the first to get let go, right? So, you know, it wasn't... I think in that moment, it was tough to deal with the fact that I was being let go. But I was very much quick on my feet. I did move out of my apartment because I knew I wasn't going to have stable income. I moved back home for about a year. And in that year, I just turned things around and got my clients on my roster and started just calling everybody that I knew and built up a client list. And
okay, though, because when I first found out that you were let go, I thought that you did some wild shit. I thought one day you came to work drunk and they're like, dude, you gotta get the fuck out of here.
I wish. No, the only funny story that I have from that is there was a vote taking place in the House of Commons one day. Yeah. And you know, when votes are happening, there's not really any photographers in there. So I was on Spark Street walking back to the office, and I see this parliamentarian on the patio drinking beers with people. And I was like, wait a second, there's a vote going on. Like, why isn't she in the vote right now? And I snapped this photo of her chugging it. Well, not chugging, but, you know, drinking a beer. Yeah. And it goes on the cover of The Sun the next day. And there was so much hate to me after that.
Yo, what?
The NDP party contacted my bosses being like, you know, this is a breach of privacy. The bar banned me from ever eating there ever again. Funny story, though. I eat there now. They do not recognize me because it's been like, you know, 15 years. But
what bar is it?
It's called Brixton's. And I think honestly the staff has changed a lot since then. So
100%.
There's no way they were. If they watch this podcast, I might be fucked. But
no, they can suck a dick. You know what I'm saying? It's fine. He's gonna be there.
They actually have a great club sandwich.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, exactly, yo. You can't hate on the boy. He likes the club sandwich.
Exactly.
Or maybe just cut the beard off, keep like a mustache, so you just won't even know. Walk in.
Yeah. That was probably like the most risky thing that I did when I was on the hill, but my bosses loved it at the same time because they were like, yes, we're putting this on the cover.
It's juicy. Yeah.
Exactly, right? So, and then I was young when I was working there and obviously didn't follow protocol on Parliament Hill every single day, but it was never to the point where I was getting disciplined or anything like that.
No, that's completely fair. When you took that photo, did you send it to your boss? Or what? How do you even get to that point where it's like, I took a photo and then it's going to be on the cover?
So basically, in the news world, you have like the FTP, right? Which is how you send your photos off. Gotcha. And then there's a photo editor in Toronto, usually with most agencies. That's where they're based out of.
Gotcha.
So the photo went out, and I just sent like a quick email to a couple of the key players in the company, being like, "Hey, I just submitted this photo, just so you know." And like, no responses. But yet, I woke up the next day and it was on the cover of the news.
Oh, shit.
So they were happy. Like the next day, they're like, "Good job with that photo."
Dude, did you get like any kind of bonus? I feel like you get
No, definitely not.
Oh, you should have. What the hell?
No, the news world is ruthless. Like, you know, it was, you're working all the time for, you know, base level salary. But at the time, you know, 2022. 52K a year was mint.
That's a blessing.
I was like, this is it.
I made it.
but in all honesty, you know, I still have friends that are doing photojournalism, and you know, I'm happy that they still find success in it, but it's a grind.
Yeah. And
you work a lot of long hours, and yeah, I don't think it's fair wages, that's for sure.
No, that's fair.
That's why I moved out of it.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm a TikTok guy, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of weird to hear that you're not on TikTok.
I'm not on TikTok.
Why is that? Is that just because the hustle, the grind, don't got time?
I mean, you know, don't get me wrong. I post a lot of stories on Instagram.
Yeah.
But I think I went on. I downloaded TikTok once.
Yeah.
And I created an account for Phantom Productions just because I needed to make sure that if it ever came to the point, we were gonna have that account kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I couldn't figure it out because you have a lot of these like funny voiceovers that people do in TikTok.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, where do I find that voiceover?
Yeah.
And I couldn't figure it out.
How long ago was this? Because TikTok has changed.
This is probably like a year and a half ago.
Yeah, dude. You were on TikTok when TikTok was simple. Now if you're trying to look for voiceovers, it's fucking impossible.
Yeah, like I just didn't understand the concept of getting it to the point where I'm seeing these viral videos, and I didn't know how to adapt my videos to that point, if that makes sense. No,
it's difficult because it's kind of like YouTube, right? You have to find what is your thing and how you're gonna, like, for you would be a great like
behind the scenes of the shoots and stuff like that,
or even giving tips and tricks, because like for photography, you're obviously high up there, so it's like, you know, things like, bro, aperture, all that shit, where it's even, I work with cameras, bro, I still fuck that up.
I mean, I think a lot of people would be shocked to know that I don't edit my own photos.
Yeah.
I am not a Photoshop wizard. I run a film production company, but have never edited a video in my life. Now, don't get me wrong, I've learned the lingo, and I know how to direct people in their editing, but Now, obviously, more so with Photoshop, I could do it if I wanted to. But with video, it's very much a directional thing.
That's fair.
You know, if you were like, okay, can you color grade this for me? I'd be like, I don't even know where that.
Is. No, it's difficult, dude. It is fucking difficult. Like I know a lot of people. You work with what's that other shit called? Where it's like it's a subscription based platform with video editing. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh, Fiverr?
No, it has a carrot on it.
Oh, okay. I've never heard of this.
I don't know. It's one of the most well known ones. I forget the name, so don't scrutinize me for this. But I work with like Final Cut Pro, basic ass shit. Yeah. Even when it comes down to color grading on that, it's like, dude, I don't know what the fuck.
I mean, at the end of the day, though, Final Cut is used on some Hollywood productions. I would say most people revert back to Premiere Pro. Or DaVinci Resolve. We use DaVinci for our color grading, and then we pull that into Premiere, and then we cut it from there.
For me, that's too much. I just want one thing, just get my job done, and that's it. But you know what? There's going to be a time, there's going to be a day where I make all my employees download every difficult fucking thing. And I'll be like, do all this.
Yeah, and what I would say is, you know, even the guys that work for us, they've gone through school, but I still see, even today, we were working on a video where the editor had noticed that there was like some construction noises in the background, and he was like, you know what, I'm just gonna YouTube this and see what I can find out there to help us out. But at the same time, like, he's gone through schooling. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So YouTube is definitely in this industry a tool that even myself or you could learn most software on.
Yeah.
But I think I should use it for TikTok though.
No, you definitely should.
Go on YouTube, figure out how to use TikTok.
I swear to God, like there's so many. Like, dude,
become famous.
Just become. If you get famous off TikTok, dude, I'm gonna fucking boast about this like crazy.
I don't know if it's TikTok famous I want to get. I definitely have said this in my own podcast. Like, the goal of my life is to be famous in my own industry. Yeah. I think that's just something that I've always wanted. And it not really famous like I'm signing autographs here, but more just, you know, well known and well respected in my
like craft. Gary V level.
You know, Gary V in my eyes is a real big fucking loser. Okay. But yes.
Why is Gary V a loser?
I find him to be so annoying. I feel like he should have been casted for some sort of, you know, infomercials or something like that. Like,
I have his book. Yeah. I have the Hustle book. And it's the most generic information. I'm like,
and don't get me wrong, you know, like my partner in this business, Kyle Smenziak, you know, he's a big knowledge based, you know, person where he tries to intake as much as possible, and he does like Gary V and some of the things that he says, but at the end of the day, he's not someone that I look up to and how I want to, you know, again, I'm trying to like choose my words wisely here, because Gary V is a very successful person. His wealth from what he's done is, you know, something that I have not achieved yet. So I'm not knocking that, but I can't stand the guy.
Dude. There's somebody, I'm not gonna like Gary Vee, he's successful, but like, and people are successful off the most dumb shit. Like, there's one guy or two guys that are successful off singing a song called Island Boys. Yeah. So it's like, nowadays you can get successful off anything. And Gary Vee got really dumb successful off of literally being like, yo, your parents don't like what you're doing? Fuck your parents. You don't need your, it's like, bro, that entire message, every kid, like, I was captivated, bro. I was like sure. 16. I'm like, oh my God, fuck my parents? You're so right. Comes home, I'm like, fuck you, mom. Literally, bro. Brown household, that shit don't run here.
No, and like I'm saying, like, that is a level of fame, but I think for me, you know, I look at people like Annie Leibovitz, who is a very, you know, successful photographer and well-known, has a master class. You know, I think if you spoke to most professional photographers, they would know who that is. That's the kind of fame that I want, I think, a little bit.
How about Peter McKinnon, though? I feel like that's the only person I can think of.
Peter McKinnon, and he's done it right. Definitely, you know, that's the kind of success that I hope to have. You know, even doing things like this, you know, this is just as much as I love you guys, this is also for my brand too.
Hell yeah.
That's why we're here
Gotta
today.
Plug
right?
everything in.
And I think that's just how I look at a lot of things. I can't believe I'm going to say this, but even recently, someone was like, "Do you want to come on this golf trip with us?" And I was like, "Okay, who's coming on the golf trip?" And they're like, "X, X, and X." And I was like, "Do any of those guys own a business or are decision makers in a business?" They're like, "Nah, they're all government workers." I was like, "Yeah, I'm not going on that trip."
Oh my god, dude, I think the same way, and I feel like I'm an asshole for that. Yeah. But it's like legit. Like I'm not gonna go. I'll be honest. Having fun is great. Yeah. But I want to get somewhere. You know what I'm saying?
Well, just like you were talking about earlier about going to a club and like identifying the players. Like I love to golf, but I don't golf to golf anymore. I golf to meet people. Now, after we're done here today, I am gonna golf to golf just for myself.
Yeah.
But my hope is that there's a twosome or a threesome that I can hop on with and meet some new people. And that's just expanding your network. That's what you have to do at this point, right? Because, when I go out to golf most days, it's very much on a business level where I'm either taking someone with me or I'm hopping on with someone that I know has a business or, they're playing at X club. Well, if they're playing at that club, they definitely have some money. Yeah. And I don't want all my tricks to be out there, but I know that crowd is definitely not watching this podcast. Yeah. I will say that. But what I will say is my partner is definitely going to watch this podcast, and I don't want him to think that I'm doing the wrong thing.
That's fair. But no, honestly, at this point, I mean, it's fun to have fun, but it's there is the bag. You got to chase the bag. Yeah. You got to get your shit done. I mean, you're not just some rando. That you got responsibilities for, especially where you are and what the fuck you're doing. So it's like, it makes sense.
100%. When Kyle and I started this, Kyle has another company called Web Marketers, and Web Marketers is websites, design work, SEO, paid marketing, that sort of thing. And it complements our business very well because a lot of those customers come on to work with us. But, Kyle and I very much had the idea in our head that, there is something that we need to achieve. And if we're not going to achieve this shit's going to get shut down very quickly. Yeah. And we set goals for ourselves that we have to attain. And we've been doing that. And I know on his side, he's a serial entrepreneur. Yeah. He came to me very quickly, months into us starting Phantom Productions and being like, dude, this is the fastest growing business I have ever had in my life. Profit wise and potential wise. And even we just had our big meeting with all the employees from around, well, we employ people in Toronto and Montreal, so they all came together in Ottawa a couple of weeks ago. And even then he's still talking about that years after we started it, right? So we're still very much on that path of growth, and we haven't reached our potential, and we're still trying to see where we're going to cap out at. But in my eyes, I'm 33. I've always had it in my head that probably by 45 I'll be slowing down. My creativity probably would have peaked at that point. And that leaves me with another, what is that? I'm terrible at math. Is that 14 years? Another 12 years of success that I could potentially untap in my...
Well, yeah, I mean, if you think that you're going to peak at that, that's fair, but I feel like, 45, that's young as hell. Like, that's...
Yeah, I think for me, it goes back to a lot of the people that I saw come through the industry, and especially in photography and visual arts. Yeah. You get very set in your ways at a certain point.
Yeah, that's fair.
And you stop trying new things. And I'm not saying everybody does that. I'm not. But from the people that I know, even in the photojournalism community, it's like, bro, you've been taking the same shitty pictures for, the last 20 years. Like, wake up and notice that things have changed.
No, that's completely fair. I feel like the new motto should be wait until you get Alzheimer's. Yeah. Do it until you literally have no fucking choice but to not do it.
Yeah, and even where I am in the company now, being a partner and being on the leadership team and all that, it doesn't really come down to what I can produce every day as much as the team can produce. So
yeah.
I still think, you know, after 45, I'll be able to direct people to have the success that we want and the style that we want. But will I be able to, you know all the technology, know all the, you know, ins and outs of the software and how to achieve that? Not really, but I can definitely give you the direction on how I want it to look.
Dude, you sound like Gary Vee right now. I'm telling you, you gotta be on your
Is he
guard.
gonna pop out of that closet?
Imagine burst through the wall like a fucking, what's that, Kool-Aid commercial?
Yeah, that'd be sick.
Yeah, being like,
it would be really funny if Gary Vee just walked.
No, that would be insane. He's like,
you had him on tag.
Yeah, deadass walks in.
Talking shit about you.
Yeah,
bro.
he's like, yo, down the street, there's a garage sale. Let's go. Oh, that'd be insane. But no, dude, honestly, like hearing the things that you have to say, even if you started up like a fucking what's that thing called? You brought it up earlier. How there's a photographer who has a masterclass.
Yeah,
you're somebody that could do some shit like that because you've gotten to the success that you've gotten to building something that you literally love.
Yeah, and I think, you know, I definitely, now that COVID's over, doing more public speaking has been nice. I've been going to a lot to schools, high schools recently, speaking at high schools, and I find that very rewarding.
Yeah.
And, you know, I had the chance to go back to my old high school recently, and
that must have been nice.
It's funny because earlier I was like, you know, it's not as if people are walking up to me asking for my autograph, but it happened when I went to my high school.
What high school was it?
So I went, oh, fuck.
Wait, what's wrong with this, dog?
I went to a private high school.
Oh, rich. Okay.
And we're going to leave it at that.
Okay.
I'm not going to name the school. But, yeah, basically I had gone in for a day where I had spoke. And then we had signed a contract with them prior to that we were going to do a video with them. So
did you reach out to them to do the
video?
Yeah. Okay.
So basically after that talk, it was like a 3-week span between us going back to shoot the video. Mm-hmm. And when we went back to shoot the video, literally I walked in and within minutes these kids came up to me and they're like, yeah, I had taken your business card at your talk. Do you mind signing it? And I was like, that's a funny joke. They're like, no. I want your signature.
Dude,
I was like,
what? That's amazing.
I was blown away. You know, at the end of the day, I didn't think I was going to have that effect on anybody, but, you know, happy to see it and happy to see, you know, maybe that person was inspired to find their creative outlet.
Be honest. Did you think about any of those bitch ass teachers you had? When that happened, you're like, yeah, so fuck you, Mr. Whatever.
It was really funny because when I had walked in there, there's obviously the bell, right?
Yeah.
And it comes on between periods and whatnot. And we got there and the bell goes off and I was like, oh my God, it's the same bell.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, why wouldn't it be the same bell? And I was like, I don't know. I just remember the tone.
Did you walk in before O Canada or did you guys have that at this private school?
Yeah. We had that. I was there super early for the shoot, right?
Yeah.
So, I heard it all and it just like brought back memories.
Had to freeze.
But no like asshole teachers. I think I saw the vice principal when I was there and I was like, wow, he's the same guy that he was then. Like barely spoke to me. Like he was like, hello, Chris. and that was it. That was the extent.
He's like, I don't have good memories with you.
But you know, obviously going to a private high school, it's a lot smaller, and you know, the community was pretty tight and discipline. Like, I'm even thinking about, you know, my home life. I got grounded once in my life. You know, I was never a wild child in high school or anything like that. I don't ever think I skipped school. It wasn't even on my radar. I never drank in high school. I think I smoked pot a couple. Well, I know I smoked pot a couple times in high school, but
you weren't like the you didn't fight, nothing wild. Like
no, I don't think there was ever a single fight at my high school. That's for sure.
Dude, what kind of rainbow ass school were you in? What?
Yeah.
Sounds like a fucking great place, bro.
I mean, and that's just it. Is, you know, if we go back to our conversation earlier about choosing university and college, like very much I hadn't gone through this like big school lifestyle, and I was like, you know, Carleton University, 26,000 people go there, like that's what I want. I need to experience that in my life. And it was very different, you know. So recently I spoke at Hillcrest High School, and shout out to them for having me, and it was really nice. But you know, I left there being like, wow, that is a different lifestyle than I ever knew from high school.
Yeah. Holy. I mean, it's really cool to actually hear the fact that you're actually going from school to school, because obviously we grew up with that, having some big wig person walk in and they'll be like, yeah, this is my story. Mm-hmm. And now I literally have one sitting right next to me. Yeah. Which is it's like, holy crap, this is actually pretty sick. How did that make you feel?
Well, I mean, I kind of thought about this too. I was like, did we have anybody do this when I was in school? And I was like, no, nobody really did, right? But I know people definitely.
Oh, dude, that was our childhood.
Public speakers,
yeah.
Right? And I thought about it, and I was like, well, you know what? At the end of the day, hopefully these kids remember it when they get to a point in their life, and they're like, oh yeah, I remember that guy came and spoke to me.
Dude, I'm telling you right now, firsthand, they do. They will, because I remember every single person that came into my school to talk, except for one guy who used to be a crackhead and became a football player afterwards. I don't remember his name. Tried to search him up. I was like, crackhead who became a football player. But
million people.
I know,
literally everybody in the NFL.
So there's only one guy who I genuinely do not remember his name. But every other, you were in Queenie with me, right?
I don't remember none of them.
You don't remember Alfonso Kadura?
Alfonso. Oh, that's the guy with the clothing, right?
Yeah, clothing, became a real estate investor.
Yeah.
I've emailed him. I've literally talked to him multiple times. He got me into real estate. So it's like, people like you, when you go into schools, there are 1,000, God knows how many, well, it depends on what kind of school you're at, but like there's going to be a lot of people that genuinely have no direction and they want hope, and you being the person to walk in and being like, yo, I got here. What kind of, did you tell them like the raw and gritty, or what kind of?
I mean, they were pretty savage. They were like, the questions they were throwing out was like, yo, how much money do you make?
Yeah.
What kind of car do you drive? Yeah. And then I told them what kind of drive. They're like, okay, we want to see it. We want to see it. And I was like, what the hell is going on, man? Like this is ruthless. And the teacher was like, you don't ask those questions.
How much did you make last month?
Yeah, exactly.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so, I think that goes back to my thought process of leaving a legacy, and just that's something that's really important for me. I hate this idea that, we die and we get forgotten about.
Yeah.
And
scary.
And that's 99.9% of people.
Literally,
that's just how your life goes. You know, like you work, you die, people move on. They stop remembering you after 5-10 years, unless your immediate family or friend, right? So, what I love, oh my God, this is so vain, but it's like, what I love for one day, 100 years from now, some kid to be like, where is Chris Roussakis buried? I need to go and see his grave to pay my respect.
Hell
yeah, I want that. Yes, I think that honestly, like, I'm just being honest with you, I think for me to say I had success in my life, there's got to be a legacy to how it went.
This is that's actually very interesting, and it brings me back to this one question that I've asked every single person that's brought up the idea of having success and getting to a particular point. This is, I'm not even gonna kid. Like, you're gonna, when you hear this, you're gonna think that I'm just fucking dumb, but this is just me being 100% honest with you. Success for me looks like having grills that have a bunch of diamonds in them. That's like, I'm not even playing with you. Once I
get grills right now,
dude, the moment that I get fucking successful, I'm not buying real estate. I'm not buying my mom a house. I'm not gonna be paying off any bills. I am first spending $100,000 on just diamond grills, because it's the stupidest fucking thing I could possibly get. Yeah. And I don't give a fuck about cars or anything like that. What is the first thing that you're gonna get when you hit that crazy point of success?
I mean, to me, like, crazy point of success would be, making $1 million a year kind of thing, right? So,
ooh, you gotta have a big ass purchase then.
I'm trying to think. Maybe like a pool.
A pool?
A pool? Underground pool?
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, fucking. That was gonna be the moment I was gonna be like, dude, come on. Yeah, literally.
Yeah, no. I've always wanted a pool, and the house that I'm living in now could have a pool, but doesn't have a pool.
Needs a
growing
pool,
up, we had an above ground pool, which fucking fell apart over the years.
Yeah.
I remember closing that down with my brother and my dad and being like, this is sad, This is really sad. And, my parents still haven't touched their backyard since doing that. You know, it's just grass. You know, like, I know my parents are probably going to watch this, so don't feel bad. I like your grass. It's very nice.
Hell yeah, great grass.
Great grass.
Green as hell.
Very green. But yeah, you know, like, I don't know what it is about a pool, but I definitely want to have a pool.
Yeah. No, I feel like that's definitely like the white picket fence form of success.
Yeah.
It's like you gotta have a pool. You gotta have like that nice house and whatnot. So you're a bit more, even though you're splurging, you're a bit more responsible than what the fuck I'm doing.
Yeah, like you gotta remember, like, I'm a lot older than you guys, and you know, I've already splurged and wasted paychecks and stuff like that. But you know, I think to this point, you know, obviously there's cars that I would want. I definitely want a Ferrari. That's always been on my radar. Do I think I would buy that if I made $1 million? Not really, because I want the $500,000 one. So I would have to make a few millions to buy that.
Well, so, because you're a car guy, do you have like a really nice car right now? Do you have a car that you're really, really proud of?
You know, I've been driving this Audi for about 6 years now.
It's a beauty. I saw it. You know what? Once I saw it, I knew you were there.
Yeah.
Like when I walked, I'm like, there's nobody in my neighborhood that has this nice of a car. This is not anybody lives here. It has to be him.
But I'm at this point now because it's a 2-door sport, and I'm just like practical now. I'm like, oh, I can't fit all the gear in the back of the trunk easily.
Yeah.
You know, now I'm just like, oh, I want a Q5 or X3. You know, like I would be very content with that.
No, that's fair. If you ever want to talk about like fucking sexy ass cars, Ziad.
Yeah, Ziad in his Supra.
No, Ziad has, bro, he knows cars. Like
he does.
When he parked up in front of my house, all my little brother's dumbass friends all pulled up and they're taking photos of it and stuff like that. It was embarrassing for me because I'm like trying to be professional, walking out with him, and then you see a bunch of these dip fucks literally with their phones trying to like be like, oh my god, look at this car.
If you go to my Facebook profile, it's me lying down on the ground in front of a Lamborghini. and I had posted it, and a lot of people were like, yeah, you did it, man. You did it.
Oh, that must have been heartbreaking.
And I, like, purposely didn't write back. I was like, yeah, it's mine. It's mine.
You get some really nice cars that are, like, not, like, crazy expensive. I feel like a Ferrari, you could probably get one that's, like, not.
The thing is, you know, and I know a lot of people are probably going to be like, what? But at the end of the day, for me, I want like the newest model. I'm not the guy that's like, oh, okay, I'm going to buy a 2016 because I can afford it now. It's like, no, I want the one with the latest tech in it. And, you know, a lot of people will say, oh, if you're going to buy a Ferrari, just get a 1990s one because that's what MJ drove and that was sick. Yeah. That was all power, you know, and it is all power. That's what that car was built for. But no, it's like, you know, I look at Ferraris on Auto Trader all the time. Yeah. And it's like only like the really expensive ones have like this little screen on the passenger side. And I'm like, I only want that one so that my passenger like has the experience that I'm having. I don't want the one that just has like leather there.
Yeah. Jeez, man. That's actually fucking sick. I feel like if I were to get a car, like a luxury car, it would be a G-Wagon. I feel like that's like my ultimate, I have a big dick car.
I do like them. I really do. And don't get me wrong. If I probably had that money, that would probably be the SUV that I get. Or the Rolls Royce.
First of all, I don't like the fact that you said, if I had that money. I'm going to say he has that money. He's just responsible as fuck. So don't play games with us over here.
But, you know, with the G-Wagon, it's just the interior. They haven't touched it enough over the years for me.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. The seats are really nice. But that center console area, it's like the same center console that they had, you know, 10 years ago. Yeah,
nothing special.
And I think they just need to do a redesign for me to really fall in love with it.
I love the interior of Teslas. I personally think that Tesla is like super, it's spacious. It's like very, I don't like clutter. Although if you look around the studio, there's a fuck ton, like I literally have weapons for some odd fucking reason. So there's a lot of clutter over here. But yeah, I just like the idea of just having the most simplistic thing in your car, you know? Like you got the big ass iPad and stuff like that.
Yeah. Like I've always been someone that enjoys the technology inside the car and that driver experience. And I think, you know, even with the BMWs when they did the redesign, I think it was like 2016. It was like there was a lot more tech in that than most cars.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's cool.
Yeah. No, 100%. Now I wanna ask this a question, or I wanna go into a specific topic. Now this is serious, so okay. I do want to know if you do want to talk about this.
All right.
Because at one point in the podcast we gotta talk about some serious ass shit.
Fix my shorts here.
No, it's fine.
I can see my white legs.
Dude, honestly, I normally wear
socks on.
I normally wear glasses, but I can definitely see your white ass legs too. But okay, so getting into serious shit. Okay. Right now in the news, the one thing that we keep hearing about is abortion and the law associated to abortion.
Okay.
Anyone have thoughts about that? Are you pro that? Are you? And by the way, if your opinion is a specific opinion, I will literally cut it out of this podcast.
All right. So, well, I don't know who you spoke to, but obviously this is definitely on my radar.
Oh shit! Okay.
But, and shit, fuck. My parents are probably gonna watch this shit. Fuck. When I was 22, I was dating this girl, and you know, we were in this like weird spot, and she was being very closed off for a few weeks.
Yeah,
she was getting sick. And I was like, man, what's going on? And she's like, nothing. And she was older than me, so I had just turned 20. She was 25, and I was shooting the Women's Canadian Open for golf.
Yeah.
And I remember going back to her place one day, and I was like, what's up? And she's like, I had an abortion today. And I was like, what? Like, you didn't even let me know.
Yeah.
And she was like, yeah, like, I didn't think you could handle it.
What?
And I was just like really shocked, but also very relieved. Like, I couldn't imagine, you know, I'm 33 now, having a 13-year-old kid. Like, that would be insane.
Yeah.
But, you know, this Roe versus Wade thing, I think it's insane that the country of the United States is thinking about turning the clocks on everybody. Because at the end of the day, you know, you have situations out there that are very much unique to individuals that a lot of people don't go through in their lives.
Circumstance, yeah.
And I think you have, you know, you look at who's talking on the news of old white men.
Yeah.
And it's like, why are we having old white men talk about females' bodies?
Yeah.
You know, put a panel up there, and it's fine if it's mixed with conservative women, but have a group of women talking about women's bodies.
Yes.
And even right now, you know, it's 3 dudes talking about the subject here, and that's fine.
Yeah.
I think, you know, we're talking about it in a way that isn't disrespectful, but yeah, I'm just shocked that we're allowing people that haven't gone through these situations to make the decisions for other people. And let's be very honest, the science to this shows that, you know, those early weeks, it's not really a human life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I find it so interesting when I see these, you know, Instagram videos like yesterday of people sitting outside of abortion clinics protesting and being like, you should be ashamed of yourself for offering these services. Man, like, who the fuck are you?
Right.
What do you know?
Right.
Just because, you know, your religion, you know, talks about this, I think there's a lot of things in our government that we need to not listen to what our religion tells us, because, you know, here in Canada, there's probably over 40 to 100 different religions that are, you know, people that are taking part in, right? You know, if I'm going to take in, you know, Sharia law, and I'm going to read the Quran and adapt our Canadian rights of charters and freedoms, and then I'm going to go and look at how Buddhists do it and then rewrite it again. Like, that's just not how we work. So why are we doing it with this one issue that only affects one gender, really, let's be honest, as much as, you know, it does affect the man at some point, but it's about a woman's right to choose and not my right to choose for her.
Yeah. I think I completely agree with you. I think there's a few things that just don't make sense with this subject matter. One is the fact that you mentioned how there's a few men talking about this. The people that are making these decisions are men, which is just ridiculous because you're talking about the outcome of a female's life, right? So it's like, what the fuck? Like, this is gonna this is gonna affect her mental health, her physical health, and all this stuff. So it's like, you have to be a real piece of shit to be like, I'm a guy and I'm just gonna tell you the way you're gonna operate. That's some wild ass shit. But from my perspective, the way that I think about it is, if you go that way, if you decide to make it illegal to get abortions, right? That is gonna create so many more fucking problems that you guys just don't see.
Well, that's just it. Like, I think if you're watching the news these days, a lot of people in the United States have already started to inquire in Canada, hey, can we come up to Canada to get our abortions? And it's like, that's putting undue stress on the healthcare system that we have here for the people that live here. Yeah. Now, don't get me wrong. We're a country that accepts people as refugees, and we could look at it that way for these women. But it would be nice if in North America, at least, we had the same viewpoints on matters like this, where and I believe in most of Europe it's the same laws that we have here.
There is.
The United States is outcasting themselves in this situation. I think, growing up, the United States was the be all end all. It was like, oh, that's where all the cool food is. That's where all the cool celebrities are. And it's like, as an adult now, I'm like, what a fucking joke of a country.
Literally,
Barack Obama was a savior for a lot of things, and I'm sure a lot of people will also say that there was things that he did that impacted the country negatively, and that might be the case. I don't know everything about the United States. I'm going to say that right now. But, I think about George Bush. George Bush was kind of an idiot. Donald Trump was an absolute joke. Yeah. Now, people want to
great tweets, though.
They wanted to get away from the drama, and they elected Joe Biden. But Joe Biden doesn't really hold much weight.
Joe Biden doesn't remember his own name, bro.
For sure. And I think, as much as the United States does offer a lot of power to the world and influence, they're just in a spot right now where it's more of a comedy show than anything. Yeah.
No, it's America has definitely become a joke. It's so weird how they're operating their like the actual country. Like the fact that there's still, I think it's called night towns, or what is it called? There's certain places in America still where black individuals are not allowed to be out past a certain time. Nightlight towns, or I forget what the name is.
I'm not quite sure,
but that still exists. I was literally talking to one of my friends who lives in America, and we had that conversation. She's like, "Dude, this place is." I mean, she lives in Miami, so it's like Miami's great, but it's like she hates the fact that still exists. There is still a lot of moronic things that exist within America. So like this law taking place in America, I'm not surprised. I'm like, okay, you know what? This is America. Like, reality is that America is a place that where you have a bunch of complete morons.
Yeah.
Where they start dictating what is okay and what is not. So if racism is very prevalent within this country, I'm not surprised that this form of bigotry is also, going to be elected into place.
I also think that the way that the federal system is set up for, governing a country in the United States is also very odd.
Yeah.
We somewhat have the same stages here where, it goes through the House of Commons and then it goes through the Senate. But the fact that the president doesn't sit in the, I don't even know what they call it there, the Congress. Congress. Like, he's not really involved in that. It's his, the other people in the party that speak for the president. And it's just odd. It is a really odd way of, and the fact that the government isn't going. Like, Joe Biden can't do anything here. His hands are tied. Yeah. Like, that wouldn't happen in Canada. It would have to be the Liberal Party saying, hey, we're going to overturn these laws. We're going to put it through the House of Commons.
Yeah.
And if it passes there, we'll send it to the Senate. That's just how it would happen. That's not how it happens in the United States.
Yeah.
And I think that's a big problem. Well, we got the Creative Mindset podcast. We don't do our episodes as regularly as you. There's no set schedule to them. So what you would have to do is either, subscribe, hit that subscribe button,
yeah, you gotta
on YouTube,
smash that subscribe button,
or follow us on Spotify.
Hell yeah.
Phantom Productions, a company that does photo, video, and animation in Ottawa and beyond. You can follow us on Instagram, Phantom Productions _social. You can follow myself, Christoforos Roussakis. Now I know my name. It was funny when you hit me up. You're like, Christoforos, hello, and I had changed. I had changed my name on Instagram to look a little bit more ethnic because I thought a lot of artists do that. They're like, I'm gonna go by my real name. Yeah, and I was like, well, if we're going by my real name, then we're gonna put the Greek name. So Chris Roussakis on Instagram, and thanks a lot for having me here, guys. It was a lot of fun chatting with you, and thanks for everybody that's watched this today.
Hell yeah, man. Obviously, I've looked up to your account. I've looked up to you. You're doing very, very well, especially in Ottawa, in my hometown. So it's like that's a place I want to get to. If you guys want to find me, it's originalZ on everything. We're talking about Twitter. We're talking about TikTok, especially on TikTok, and the podcast. You already know. Smash the like button, subscribe, send it to your mom, your dad, your grandmother, if she's still alive. Yassine?
Yeah, my Instagram is Yassine_Bucharest. That's where you find me.
Yassine, you gotta have way more platforms than that, bro. Next time we come on, you better plug 4 more things. I'm not even playing with you.
Yeah, what's your Pinterest?
Straight up. All right, guys, take care. See you guys next time. Peace.